Hey everyone! Today I'm here to talk about the Zippy Loom. I'm going to be showing you how to make a scarf on the Zippy Loom using this yarn and this loom. I had someone in the comments ask me about it, so I thought I'd go ahead and pick one up and give it a go. So it's basically just a regular knitting loom, except for the fact that it's obviously, it only has 4 pegs. You can connect it. You can see there's little holes there, and it has a connector right there. But if you want to buy, or you want to do a longer piece, you will of course need to buy more of them. And there are also little corner pieces as well. This one was $7.99 retail. I got this at Michael's, and you can always use a coupon, which is what I did. So, just keep that in mind. It comes with the one piece of loom, the one loom piece, as well as the tool to, move the yarn over. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just go ahead and open this up, because I know it's making a little bit of noise, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so it's out of the package. As you can see, it has a little smiley face on one of the pegs. Just a little added detail. Doesn't feel too rough, so I think as long as your yarn isn't real grabby, you should be fine. Speaking of the yarn, the outside of the package, like before you open it up, does not mention what type of yarn they recommend. Obviously, these pegs are very big and they are widely spaced. So you're going to want to use thicker yarn. Once you open up the package, it does say that they recommend using super bulky yarn, 2 strands of thicker yarn, and or ruffle yarn, so it's like Red Heart Sachet, things like that. Trying to remember the brand names. The ones that you make the ruffle scarves from. Yeah. Or actually, I used some to make a crochet chain scarf too. I'll put a link in the description bar if you're interested in that. But anywho, yeah. So here we go. So I chose this yarn. I knew that I would need really thick yarn, so even though the package didn't recommend or didn't say, I just went ahead and picked this up. This is Red Heart Grande. It is a super bulky yarn. So you can see right there, it's super bulky. It recommends a size 15 millimeter knitting needle or an 11.5 millimeter crochet hook. So the color is oatmeal. And so you can see, like, that's what, with the pattern that they used. I don't know if it's on the inside of the, yeah, it is. It's on the inside of the ball band. But anyway, it is 5.29 ounces, 150 grams, and 46 yards, or 42 meters. So it is 78% acrylic and 22% wool. So if you have a wool allergy, just keep that in mind. Okay, so let's go ahead and use the loom. The first thing that we need to do is to make a slip knot. All you need to do is just take the yarn and wrap it around your hand like that. So with the cut end, and then just wrap the end that's attached to your ball around your hand. With your finger, just put it under this strand of yarn and grab the other one and pull it through. And then we're going to place the yarn on this peg here. And make sure that these little grooves are facing towards you. You don't have to, especially if you're not going to use the little knitting tool, or the loom knitting tool that came with it. But these grooves just make it easier, and see, they don't have it on the other side. So, all right. Now that we've got one loop on this peg, we're going to go ahead and wrap around the other pegs. So just take your strand of yarn, and we're going to go behind the next one and around. Do the same thing all the way to the end. And then we're going to push these down. And then we're going to wrap the yarn. We gotta make another loop on all of the pegs. So we're just going to wrap around and then go back behind the next one. So it looks like that. And then we're going to go in front, behind, front, behind, and front, behind. And you don't need to wrap really, really tight with your yarn. We don't need to put it in a stranglehold or anything. All right, now you could use your fingers, but they did provide this little tool, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. And what we're doing is we're going to move this bottom loop over this one and over the top of the peg. And I like to start with wherever the yarn ended, because it secures it a little bit. Let me just do that. So we're just grabbing it and lifting it over. Then you need to push this down. And now we're going to work back over so that way there are 2 rows again. So we go behind this peg and around, and then we go back behind here, because see, when you look at it, you should just see the little bars like this, but on the back, you'll have a straight, like you'll have the bar connected between the pegs. So I'll do that part again just so you can see that. Okay, so we wrap around to the side. We're going to go on the right hand side here, and then we just go back behind, keep on going. There you go. And take your tool, or you can do use your fingers if you like. It's whatever you're most comfortable with. And scooch everything down. We're going to keep on doing this. We're just going to keep doing it actually until we, we get to a point where we're done with the scarf. I'm going to go ahead and just actually use this entire ball and make a really long scarf. So I normally hold mine to the side, but I'm going to try to hold it forward for you so that way you can see it a little bit easier. But I do usually hold it to the side. Just a personal preference. But anyway, when you're starting a new row, you're always going to make sure that you are going to the sides. So if we were here, we would go this way, but because we're on the left hand, we go this way. And you just wrap the yarn around and go behind the next peg and wrap it around. This is usually in loom knitting called, like, it's usually referred to as an E-wrap. So, and that's what it looks like from the top. I'll cover the rest of the scarf. All right, and then we just keep on moving the lower ring over. And again, you do not need to use the tool if you don't want to. It might be easier for you to use your fingers. Okay, so again, we go along the side, back, and then we wrap around the next peg, back to front. So we go behind it and then front, forward. And that's what your scarf is starting to look like. So you see, you actually have like 4 little columns because there's 4 pegs, so that's how that works out. This is what this side looks like. Looks like little V's. And then this side looks like little bars going this way. In knitting, this is called stockinette stitch, where the side has the V's and the other side has the little bars. So just a little tidbit of information if you happen to knit, with looms or with knitting needles or something like that and you want to know the terms. Okay, so all we have to do is we're just going to keep going until the scarf is as long as we want. I'm going to go ahead and just use all of this yarn just because that way we can have a really nice long scarf. Now, this is not a very wide scarf, obviously, but you could add more if you wanted to have more looms. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and just continue on, and I will come back and show you how to take the scarf off. If you want, you can do other types of stitches and everything, but this is sort of just like the most, I think the most simple, easy to do. So, yeah. just go ahead and continue on. If you need to, go ahead and go back a little bit and rewatch me do some of the rows if you need more information on that. But I will be back to show you how to take the scarf off of your loom when we're ready to do that. Okay, so here we are. I have finished I've got that's about 16 inches of yarn left, and so yeah, we are done. I measured this is about 6 feet long, and yeah, you can see it wants to curl up on itself. That's what stockinette stitch does in knitting, but that's what it looks like flat, but it just kind of wants to curl up on itself. So if you're using, you know, a wider, you're using a second loom, then, you know, of course it won't curl up exactly like that. Now there are a few different things you could do to kind of finish everything off. If you wanted to, you could lay this all out and make sure it's not twisted, and then bring these loops up over here, and then go over with this loop, and then do the bind off, and that would make like an infinity scarf. But I'm just going to show you how to bind off regular. So all you need is, you've got this yarn here. So I have enough, I could easily do that, and then I've got that much yarn left. You do want a little extra yarn at the end, just so that way you can weave in your ends. All right, so all we're gonna do is you just take this yarn and we're gonna lay it over top of this. Use your tool to move that over. Then we're gonna do the same thing on this side. And then you need to move this loop over top of this one. I kind of like to use my fingers when I'm doing that, just personal preference, but. And then we're going to take this loop and go over this one. And then we move this loop back over here. Okay. And now we're going to do this peg, so you wrap the yarn there. Go over. Take this loop with your fingers. You can use the tool if you like. Move it over there. And go over. Move this back to this peg. Put the yarn around the last one. Go over. Move this over here. Go over. And then you're going to pick this up with your fingers. And then you take this end of your yarn. Sorry, that's knocking into the camera. So you take this into the yarn, and you're going to bring it through that loop. And then you're going to pull tight, a little tight. And that makes it to where that is good and ready to go. Now all the thing you have to do is you just have to weave in your ends. You can use a tapestry needle, you can use a crochet hook, just however you like to do it. You can even use this little tool. And all you're trying to do is just hide the stitches in there. What I usually do is I will just follow along, but if you look, you could easily go through here. So I'll show you. I would normally use a tapestry needle, honestly, if I'm going to do this, but yeah. Actually, with it this thick, you could just do it with your fingers. So you're just moving this back through there, and then just follow along the yarn so you can see, like, this goes down here and it comes back up, and that's what I'm going to do. And there you have it. Once you get all that woven in, you'll have your scarf. Alright, so here we have it. I have woven in the ends completely. You can see, like, where there's 2 strands, and there's a little piece that's kind of come off, but there we go. Yeah, so I really like this. It didn't take very long, you know, just a little over 20 minutes to get a 6 foot long scarf. super easy to do. I hope that I answered your questions, and to the person who asked about this, I definitely hope I answered your question. If you have any more questions, if any of you have any more questions, please leave me a comment and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. I think that this is a really, really fun little loom, the Zippy Loom. I mean, you do have to use a thicker weight of yarn, I think, but you could easily use multiple strands. And because there's only 4 stitches that you're actually doing, it's not going to take very long at all. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Again, leave me a comment and let me know what you think, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!